What is up? What is up? What is up? This is the
No!
Triple Threat Podcast. You guys remember us from like 6 years ago from our last episode?
New podcast. Who this?
New podcast. Who this? A lot has changed since our last episode. So seriously, thank you guys for sticking around. If you're watching on YouTube, which you probably are, unless you're listening to it on some podcast platform. But this is. I enjoy this podcast. It's just been hard to get everybody together. Joey's been busy playing bingo. Drew's got his Whatnot lives. Joey's got Whatnot lives. I've got Whatnot lives. And we all have our regular lives as well. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. How's it going? First of all, Drew is looking really good. Like
you are,
I think Drew is like notorious for like having like kind of subpar cameras and lights in his library. But you're looking really. Did you change anything?
I have my ring light set up. So that's probably helping me. I usually don't use my ring light. So
okay. Well, looks good. You look even better.
But I'm really excited to talk today. I know we've probably got 1,000,001 things we can talk about. So I'm just happy to get the boys together for a podcast. We actually hung out like, has it been 2 weeks already, or was it a week ago?
Yep, 2 weeks ago. We were in Florida.
We hung out. Josh and Haley were in Florida. We put out YouTube videos about it. We went disc diving, had a lot of fun. But it just seems like every time two of us is available to record a podcast, one of us has got something going on. One of us has a whatnot. One of us has a family thing we have to attend. One of us is sick. Yeah, something crazy. So it's just exciting to send out a text and say, you guys want to do a podcast today? And everybody was like, yes, let's do it.
So, let's do it.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you for listening. And we are really happy to be back.
That's right.
Joey, how are you?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Look at all these beautiful viewers. I'm watching you through the camera. Hello on YouTube, but if you're listening on other platforms, thank you for listening. We're back. I think we're gonna keep this going. Hopefully, we could just say, "Yo, let's just go live." I don't even care. Let's just do it. But what's up, guys? I've been doing good. I've been listing like crazy. I've been on Whatnot like crazy. Just living my life, like literally just trying to make money, just trying to save. My new thing, I don't know if I wanted to share this like out to the people yet, but I think it's time. If everyone's listening, I'm probably going to say it on one of my next YouTube videos. So what I'm trying to do with Whatnot is I'm trying to, so I'm going to the bins. I'm getting a lot of good stuff like at the bins, and I'm putting it on Whatnot, and I'm getting it for a low cost, and I'm trying to sell it for higher. Obviously what we try to do for reselling. But what I'm trying to do is to pay off my car. And to pay off my car, it's like $16,000 left that I have on my car. And what I'm trying to do is all my sales on Whatnot is going to go straight to my car payment. So that's exactly what it's going to. And I want to make like a YouTube series about it. Josh was saying, yo, you should make a series about it. And I think I'm going to start making clips here and there and just start making like a update video every time. It keeps going up and up. I'm already at 2,500 like in like the app, but I should be at like 3,000 with the other sales that I've made throughout the last like 2 weeks. I just have to like update. But other than that, I'm super excited to get that, still rolling. Shout out to all the fans that are supporting.
You've had the Tesla. How long have you had the Tesla?
I've had it for 3 years, since April 1st.
You must have made a payment because I thought you said you had like $23,000 left.
Yeah, well, I just kept continually paying. It's like $500 a month. So
it's been a while since we've recorded a podcast, so we've probably made quite a few payments.
Probably, yeah. Hopefully, you still got the Tesla, so you've been making your payments.
Yeah, and so I'm excited. I told Josh and Drew that it should be like, I said 23,000, and then Josh was like, you just do 20,000, make it a nice number. So I might do that. And I'm coming along. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, so thank you for the support to all the fans that are like helping me out with this. I couldn't do it without you. And then all the random people on Whatnot too have been really helping out as well. I just can't wait to like pay off my car. Like that's like one of the coolest things, like to pay off debt. And
being debt free I can't even explain it. Like I thought Haley and I were going to be in debt for so long because we weren't really making. Haley was making good money when we first got married, but I definitely was not. And I was like, okay, I had like $30,000 in student loan debt. I was like, okay, maybe if I can pay like an extra $50 a month on top of my minimum payment. And that still was like, you'll have 17 years before you pay it off, you know?
Huh.
So like grinding it out and figuring out ways to make more money to get debt free is definitely the way to go. Drew, you're debt free, right? Except your house.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And I have quite a few things in the works right now, but yeah, I'm 100% debt free other than my mortgage. Well, no, that's a lie. I have a credit card.
I also have a credit card, but I pay it off every like 2 weeks.
Well,
So
my credit card is a credit card from a past business of mine that I basically broke even on for the most part, but I had a little bit of credit card debt. But that is basically, I have enough money like in my account right now that I could just pay it off if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But essentially, I have no car payments or anything else. The shed, I paid cash for the shed when I bought that. If you guys know, that's where I have all my storage for my inventory in my backyard. Yeah. But yeah, it is a really nice feeling. Like since I became a reseller, I paid off more debt being a reseller than I did owning my last business, and which was my scooter and motorcycle shop, which was a brick and mortar building.
Yeah.
And I mean, the profit margins on that business were really good, but
not as good as reselling.
You have overhead and rent and employees and insurance and taxes and liabilities and all this kind of stuff that you really don't have as much with reselling, even though you're doing it mainly by yourself, unless you're, tech or daily refinement or, one of those guys. But yeah, it is very rewarding once we were like, I paid off my wife's car, like we started getting that down, and then we had another credit card and we paid that off. And then we had, a small payment on something else. I can't even remember what it was. We paid that off, and yeah, it's just a great feeling. And so I'm really excited for Joey to, see you grind that out and see how long it takes you with Whatnot. I'm actually doing something very similar, which I've said on some of my lives already, is that really what I'm trying to do is pay off my last bit of credit card with Whatnot sales, so I don't have to just dip into, my personal account or my personal savings or anything like that. So yeah. I just want to use Whatnot to pay for that, which is great.
And it makes it challenging too. Like, I have the money to pay off my car, but I want to like work towards it, like I want to work extra like on Whatnot and really just entertain the people and like, have fun with Whatnot and just make it a fun thing, because that's what life's about, is having fun, so I think for me, it's a blast. I love it.
Yeah. I think having that goal, like people want to see you accomplish something good in life. So like them being able to be a small part of that by buying something for, $5 or $10, like helping you get there. I think it's good for you. Like you'll definitely hit that goal probably a lot faster than you think. And I think it'll be just a good thing to be a part of for your audience as well.
Yeah.
You're just gonna start making more YouTube videos about it.
Yeah. I'm getting there. I'm getting the confidence back. So I'm happy about that. I made a video which I'm happy about. It was just a what sold video at Disney with Drew and Dalton.
Haley was watching that the other day. I haven't watched it, but I heard you. I was like, oh, that's Joey made a video. Look there. Yeah,
I'm fine. I was like, I brought the GoPro. I was like, I know my boy Drew's gonna be like, bro, when are you gonna make a YouTube video? I'm like, I'm trying. And then I was like, I brought my GoPro. I was like, that's it. I had it charged, ready to go for Disney. And I was like, we're at a happy place. It's my happy place. I haven't been there in a while. And it just all fell through. And it was really nice to get that going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for doing that. And speaking of being proud, I think everybody should know that we are all still resellers, because I know that within the YouTube community, there's a lot of Whatnot talk, and it's just because I think it's the newest and most exciting thing for everybody.
No, dude, let me just jump here 1 second. The only people that think Whatnot is not better than eBay are just salty. If you look at it, if you take emotion completely out of it and like jealousy and all that stuff, Whatnot is just a better platform than eBay. Not for everything. Like eBay is still good. There's still like we're still listing stuff on eBay, but for a lot of the stuff that most resellers pick up, Whatnot is just, I mean, the payments, the volume you can move, the service, the customer service, like from both the buyer and seller standpoint, like eBay's really got to step it up. I'm really curious to see, like, personally, our eBay sales are down like 60%, 60 or 70% over the last like 3 months, but that's because we're selling way more on Whatnot now.
Right.
And I don't know, like Whatnot's still very, very small compared to eBay, but I am curious to see if eBay's seeing a significant drop in numbers because of other selling platforms.
I'm sure they know that. Like they have to. because I mean, I've brought a lot of my sales that I would have probably put on eBay to Whatnot, and I've made a significant amount over there super fast. And
Yeah.
there's a difference between, like, let's just say, me and you, Josh, like, you have a bigger audience, but I still have an audience, but like you're getting stuff for a little bit more than, or maybe even a little bit less, like but that's the gamble, to like put it out there. Hey, I'm willing to start this at $1, whatever it goes for, it goes for. But you're moving that inventory constantly. Like, there's no like, oh, I got this for 5 months, I'm waiting for that $50 offer that's for $60
for the right buyer.
Right. And then, like, let's just say we sell it for $30 on Whatnot. That's a quick seller that's moving, like, and then they can grab that and move it on them on their own if they want to sell it on eBay for $60, you know? So it's like a win-win for really everybody. Only if your buying cost is low, you know?
Also, Whatnot is not a sponsor of this podcast. This is all just us talking about it openly.
I love Whatnot. Whatnot, if you're listening to this, I want to be like the mascot of Whatnot. I love you guys so much.
That's a bold statement.
Sorry, Drew, I'm so sorry. We never let you finish. So we're all resellers. I'm assuming you were going to talk about that Instagram post about me or something?
No. I wasn't going to talk about the Instagram post. I just wanted to say, like, you know, because I know that there's other podcasts out there right now, and some of them like Whatnot and some of them don't. And some of them, the people in those podcasts are sellers on Whatnot, and some of them, the people are completely against it and they refuse to be on there because they think that anybody who goes on Whatnot and doesn't sell on eBay is a sellout. And I personally, this is something that I wanted to make a YouTube video on my channel about, but I think this is a great moment to just talk about it where I don't have to go on and on about it. I think the biggest misconception is that people are looking at Josh's content and going, oh, well, Josh has 300,000 subscribers. Of course, he's going to make a ton of money on Whatnot. But really, Whatnot is just like any other platform. If you don't have a social media following, yes, Josh's social media following helps. Yes, mine probably helps a little bit. Joey's helps a little bit. But I know people who follow me on Instagram or who I'm friends with who don't have big social media followings, don't have YouTube channels. But what it takes is consistency. It's the exact same thing that Chris, Daily Refinement, and Tech and Sports talk about in all of their podcasts and all of their videos. You know, list 30 items a day, every single day, you know, and you will have constant sales on eBay. And I think it's the same thing with Whatnot, is if you go on Whatnot consistently and you provide good quality items, not just trash out of your eBay store that's not moving, you know, and that's where a lot of the issues are, is people are going on Whatnot and saying, oh, I've got this pocket knife here that's been sitting on my eBay store for 6 months. It's a $20 pocket knife, so I should be able to sell it for $18 on Whatnot. And then, you know, they get disappointed because it doesn't sell for $18. But it's just like Reels or TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or anything, you know, it takes time to build up that audience. People need to learn who you are. They need to trust who you are. And so you start small and you build your platform up, and you do what you do best, which is, if you are a, you know, pocket knife seller, then you go in the pocket knife, you know, category and you sell pocket knives. Or if you're a comic book seller, you know, you sell comic books, and you show in the background of your Whatnot that you have graded comic books that are worth a lot of money, you know, and you're willing to sell those to the comic book audience, you know, once you gain a little bit of a following and you know that people are going to actually bid on your items. And I think that's the thing that I'm kind of like most tired about with Whatnot, is people are just kind of like complaining about that aspect. Like, oh, Josh is inflating prices. These are going for more than eBay prices. And it's like, I've said this before on the podcast and I'll say it again. I don't care what anybody says. He deserves those sales. He's built up the following. He's built up the platform. He's not asking anybody to pay up for this stuff. He tells people all the time, you know, he left because I'm talking about him, but he's like, you know, he tells people, don't bid, don't overpay, you know, spend responsibly. You know, if you feel like you can't make money on this and you're a reseller, don't buy it, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I just think that the people who are there want to support him. Just like, for example, if let's just say, you know, a celebrity popped on Whatnot, for example, like Kanye West, and he was auctioning off a pair of Yeezys, I guarantee you that those Yeezys wouldn't be selling for $400. They'd be selling for $400,000.
Because you want to know why? It's because of the person. And
right, exactly.
And I'm at, like, all right, I'm still a fanboy of Josh, and he's literally my friend. like, and if I bought something off of him, like I bought that goofy sweatshirt off of you, I don't care what I bought it for. Even if you didn't come to my live the next week and bought it for double the price, I wanted that goofy sweater because you had it, and I love Goofy. So like, I'm willing to
It's
pay
funny you
it.
say that because we definitely shipped it out, but on Whatnot it says like label created but not shipped. So I don't know where that is. Hopefully you get it. I don't know.
I know. I was like, where is my sweater? I'm looking for it.
I
I'm
don't know.
waiting for it.
I
Well, and
like
and to make one final statement about that, Josh has probably spent more money on Whatnot supporting other people's
Yeah,
streams
like us.
than any other person on the platform. Like you don't see Bleacher Hits, the card break guy, after he does 60K in sales selling sports cards, doing breaks. You don't see him going into a smaller streamer's account and buying cards and getting into a smaller break. But Josh is constantly going into Whatnot lives and buying stuff that's even not worth anywhere near what he's paying for it just to support other people. It's like when Mr. Beast did the donating to Twitch streamers thing. It's like that feeling. Like my friend Matt posted. Josh knows Matt.
Yeah.
We hung out and stuff, but Josh isn't like, he didn't grow up with Matt. He doesn't really know much about Matt other than he's friends with me and he's a reseller and things like that. But he went into Matt's stream and bought a shirt for like, I don't know, $170 or $200 or something like that.
251.
Yeah, Matt was freaking out. Like he had put a reel about it because he was so happy about it, and just like that feeling of, selling something and somebody just wants to support you is like, I can imagine it because Josh did it to me, but just Josh does that, a lot of stuff like that behind the scenes that people don't realize, because if you're not on Whatnot, or Josh doesn't brag about that stuff. He doesn't take it to his Instagram and say, oh, I just spent $1,600 on other people's Whatnots today, everybody pat me on the back. He just does it because he's a good person.
I will say that it's usually not my money. So like people sign up for Whatnot with our credit, they get $10 and we get $10. And so I try to use that Whatnot credit to buy stuff ideally from people that signed up with our link. Like if people reach out and say, hey, we signed up, got approved to sell, our first show is whenever, I try to bookmark that show and then go and buy at least a couple things. And then either buy stuff or like run up some auctions, run up some bids. So other people just pay. Like yesterday, my friend Kendra was selling like a pair of Adidas Boost shoes and the auction was at like $2. I'm like, I'm just going to run this up. So I bid, and then the other guy bid, and we went back and forth like 6 or 7 times and got up to like $15. That's still a good deal because they're probably worth like 40, but at least she didn't sell them for 2. So I try to spend a lot of time on Whatnot looking for people that I could spend my credits on. But if it was my own money, I'm just trying to bring Drew, just pushed me up here on a pedestal, and I'm just trying to knock myself back down. I probably wouldn't spend $251 of my own money on a $15 Cruella DeVille t-shirt, but I had made fun of Matt for his old GoPro when we were in Florida. I was like, just take this money, Whatnot credit, and go buy a new GoPro.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
But yeah,
it's
like
just your generosity, because you could, it may not be like your actual personal money, but you still earned that money from Whatnot through your social media, following.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just taking that money and going and buying yourself a Tesla or another car or, whatever, you're choosing to give that money back to other people. And I just think that that's really, admirable of you, where, you are probably still enjoying some of that money, which you deserve. But the fact that you are basically saying like, this money was given it to me for free, so I want to give it back to other people, instead of just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go buy myself, I'm just going to go to the casino and put $10,000 on blackjack. And if I lose it, no big deal, because it was Whatnot's money.
Yeah, no big deal.
They gave me, it's just like, I think that's really cool. So anyway, with all that being said,
I did have an idea, because we've been doing some pretty big giveaways and Whatnot. Like we gave away a PS5 and an Xbox and stuff. And I was like, Haley, what is a way we could give away something huge, like a Tesla? And so obviously if you do a big giveaway like that, you have to have some way to like pay for it outside of that. And it can't be gambling, because we can get that's a whole nother discussion. But I was thinking like you do like a 3-month series where like everybody that buys something from a stream, you just pick up like put their names in a jar or whatever, or you pick one winner, like use the Whatnot feature, pick one winner during each stream, and you just stream for like 3 months until you get like 100 people on the list. And then you just pick a winner, and that winner gets a Tesla. So hopefully, ideally, you'd be able to generate enough like advertisement and increase sales during that 3-month period to hopefully pay for the Tesla. Hopefully, at least get that amount. Because like Whatnot gave away the Lamborghini the other day, and that generated a ton of interest. But I'm like, what if some random person on their own outside of Whatnot? It's like, all right, guys, we're giving away a Tesla. All you have to do is show up to one of our live streams, enter in, like, just be there as we pick the winner.
I can't even. That is awesome. Like just for the normal viewer,
you gotta give away a ticket to Flipcon. Have you done that yet? Have you given away a ticket?
No, we haven't. No.
You need to talk to Caleb about that, and you guys should like go live together and just like do like a mini sale and just like sell a couple things, and then just like have an envelope or have a jar with a number in it, and like the person who bought the 18th item, gets the ticket to Flipcon or something, and then that way it doesn't inflate any individual price. Yeah, it's going to be completely chosen at random. Like at the end of the stream, like, okay, we sold 35 items total, and between me and Caleb, we're going to pay for your trip to go to Flipcon or whatever. And
speaking of Flipcon, just in case you guys are watching this podcast, listening to the podcast, and you don't know what Flipcon is, it's an in-person reseller networking event. It'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina, August 24th and 25th, I believe. You can find tickets and information at www.flipcon.net.
.net.
We'll all be there. Joey's going to host bingo the first night. He's very excited.
I am.
How's all that going? Like, how's the planning been going for that? Give us a little bit of like behind the scenes detail, because even us, we're going to Flipcon and we're speaking, but really like I don't know anything about the event. Like, are you and Caleb working together? Did you just hire other people to kind of manage it, or is it just something that...
I wish I could hire somebody to manage it. We do have people, like I'm bringing a few people today, like with me to the event, like management, because I don't want to be like freaking out and like trying to manage everything while I'm there, because a lot of people are coming to hang out with me and hang out with us, so I don't want to have that on my plate. But all the pre stuff, like before we get there, it's pretty much up to me and Caleb. We're trying to get like I think we've sold like $45,000 in tickets so far. It's like 150 tickets maybe. But the event's going to cost probably like $75,000 to put on. So hopefully we sell more tickets and get to that break-even point. And then once we pass that, like I'd like to make a little bit of profit, like for me and Caleb, for all the work we're doing for it. But we're not trying to make $30,000 in profit or something. So anything after the break-even point, we're just going to pour back into the event, whether it be like cool stuff to do the first night, or I'm probably going to have like a live DJ or a live band the last night, the after party. Just like Whatnot's going to be there. They're going to have a table. They're going to do basically just a ton of giveaways. We'll just do like live Whatnot auctions while we're there. And then nothing but giveaways constantly. So people in the audience can win, people in Whatnot can win. So it's a way for Whatnot to promote the platform to people there, and a way for us to promote Flipcon to people on Whatnot. So I think that's a really cool mix up.
That's really cool.
And Whatnot's going to pay for all the giveaways. So that's cool. Probably like $10,000 to $15,000 in giveaways. So yeah, that's it so far. But I'm still trying to figure out the menu. I've got to get some vegan options for reseller Rachel Strickland and Chris Flip the World. But other than that, I think everything's falling into place. A lot of people are coming early. Like some people are checking in as early as like Monday and saying like Monday to Saturday.
Wow,
so that's pretty cool.
One thing you had mentioned about like a DJ live music or whatever. This might be interesting. This might interest you. I can't talk. Kevin Jones, who is a professional disc golfer, is also has a side business doing like live DJing stuff.
Really?
And he just DJ'd the last disc golf open, the OTB. He did like a concert. They basically like he ran it. I bet that with your following, and your social media presence, that it's a bigger event. You could also reach out to him and probably get him to do the event, which would be crazy, because
it would be crazy.
He's a professional disc golfer. And obviously you guys who don't know me know I love disc golf, and all three of us love disc golf. It's like, but it's really,
we either need to go to Charlotte a day early or stay a day late and play disc golf while we're there.
Dude, if you book Kevin Jones and then he plays around with us, that would be crazy.
Kevin Jones. So I have no idea who Kevin Jones is, but how excited you're getting. There's an episode of Parks and Rec when Ron Swanson meets like some old guy that invented some chair. And they just walk into this woodworking convention, and Ron's like, "Oh my gosh, he's right over there. He's right over there." And she's like, "Go talk to him." And he's like, "No, I'm sure he gets bombarded with fans all the time." And then the camera turns, and it's the most boring looking old white guy you've ever seen in your life, standing entirely alone. Nobody is talking to him. And that's what I'm picturing in my head when you're talking about this guy. But I'm sure he's much more famous than this guy from the show.
He's an awesome disc golfer. He's usually like somewhere in top 10, top 20 every single tournament. And he's won multiple, championship rounds. He's always up there in the top. And he's just a really good disc golfer, and he's very competitive. So he reminds me a lot of myself, because when he like misses a putt or something, he's really hard on himself, just like me.
Yeah.
And so I can relate to him a lot. And then I just recently saw that he was doing the DJ stuff. I was like, as soon as you mentioned that, it was the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, dude, we gotta get Kevin Jones there.
Gotta
So,
get him. I will reach out and DM him on Instagram.
If there's not a disc golf tournament that he's playing in that weekend, I bet you could hire him to do it.
Maybe. Does he live close to Charlotte?
I don't know where he's from, to be honest, but he would fly out for it for
for the right price.
The right price, yeah. So I'll tell him to autograph some disc golf discs and sell them on Whatnot.
So what are some things? I don't know if any of you guys have been to like a live event, but I'm trying to think of like fun things to do. So the only live event I've been to is Vid Summit last year, and like the first night they had like a little buffet of like finger foods, and they had a little photo area, and they had different vendors set up like StreamYard and TubeBuddy and things like that. And I was trying to like, we looked at like having skee ball. It's basically like a portable arcade, but like it was like two things, a skee ball and like some video game machines and stuff, but it was like $5,000. And I'm like, I'm not sure skee ball is worth $5,000 for just like one night of fun,
Okay, I have an idea. This is why you need to hire me to help with this event. Okay. Dalton told me about this yesterday, that VCon, Gary V just had VCon.
Yeah.
And it was only for people who had bought one of his NFTs.
Yeah.
Got entrance into it. But one of the days of VCon, they had like a indoor flea market for anybody who was at VCon that liked flipping stuff at garage sales and things.
Yeah.
You could set up a booth and sell stuff like an indoor flea market. You guys should totally do that.
The problem is we don't have a ton of extra time, because we already have like the first night is just like a meet and greet. And then the second day is the entire conference. And we only have until from like 8 a.m. until like 3:30 p.m. for all the speakers. And then there's like a short gap of like 2 hours just to like rest and change clothes, and then the after party. So like, I like the idea. I just don't know when we'd fit it in time wise. Because that would be a lot of like setup for like, an hour of shopping, I guess.
Well, it was an idea.
It was a good idea. If the conference was
he
longer.
drinks no water.
I love brainstorming. Like, it's one of my passions. I've talked about on YouTube, like on Joey's lives on Monday nights. Like, I love helping people, and brainstorming ideas for other people is just so easy for me. Like, if we sat down off camera and you were like, all right, this is the schedule for Flipcon, these are the things we want to do, this is how we want to do it, I'd be like, oh, okay, you can have Renzi over here, you can have, Flip the World over here, you can have Dalton over here, and then I start picturing like, oh, you have, Dalton with his own booth, with reseller lifting club stuff, and then you have, Flip the World selling IKEA bags over here, for autographs or whatever. And like, my brain just starts working about all that kind of stuff. So I love brainstorming. I wish I could monetize it more, like get people to pay me to give them ideas.
Go on Fiverr. I paid a guy on Fiverr like $5 for like 50 YouTube video ideas, but this was like 2 years ago, and I didn't do any of them, but it was still worth $5. Like, it was interesting to see somebody that like didn't know reselling content. And he's like, what's your channel about? And I told him, I was like, we try to buy stuff and flip it online. And he did generate like 50 ideas. Some were much better than others, but it was interesting. I wish Fiverr would be like a sponsor of the channel, because I've seen a lot of people do like, oh, we need a new logo for this. So we bought a $20 one and a $50 one and a $250 one and a $1,000 one, and then compared. And like the $50 one ends up being better than like the $1,000 one usually. But I don't want to do that with my own money. I'll just buy one logo. Speaking of logos, we got the new Support Your Friends neon sign.
Dude, I saw that today. I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Wait for it.
Wait, let me turn it down a little bit.
Sheesh.
There you go. For everybody listening right now,
That is awesome.
the LED neon sign. Pretty cool.
How
Took
much
a long
was that?
time to get it.
How much was it?
It was expensive. It's like $1,300.
Dang.
Custom neon
Yikers.
signs are
They are expensive.
rough.
That's why I asked. I was like, it's got to be a pretty penny.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
But it's cool. Yeah. Business write off.
Yeah.
It's a write off.
Does it change colors or
Write
is it
off
only white?
people.
Is it only white or does it change colors?
Write off people.
It's just white. It just changes the brightness, but it's just white.
Oh, okay. That's cool, man.
So Josh, how's the house coming?
The house is good. The guy just finished staining the deck today. So now the deck is done except the screen and porch. We screened like half of it, and then we had to like take it down for them to stain the deck. And then I'm just like, well, you guys can just screen it up. So just waiting for probably next week, and they'll come out and screen it up, and then we'll be done.
Nice.
We just had an appraiser come to our house today because we are going to be going the Zach Utah bought and gone route with our lives, and I'm going to be renting out the current house that I'm living in, and we're going to be buying a new house, and our goal is to have everything completely finished and settled by the end of the year. So it gives us about 6 months from now, and so we're pretty excited about it. We're actively looking at properties, even though the market is crazy right now, but we still think it's the best decision because the house we live in is very close to being paid off, relatively speaking to what the value of the home is. And we have already got a approval for a home equity line of credit. And so we are going to be using that towards helping us purchase a new home just because of the prices in the market. We have a pretty good approval amount from the lender. And so we're just going to basically use the money in the equity in our current home to help fund the new home so we don't have to just have an insanely high mortgage for no reason. And then we have renters that are going to be renting this house out. I could probably rent this house out pretty easily for like $1,800 to $2,000. Wow. And so, and that's probably, my mortgage is probably about 25% of that. Yeah. So, once we fix up the couple things that need to be fixed up, just like replacing doors and, painting a few things here and there and stuff, the little flaws in the house, it should be a pretty good moneymaker for us. And, after, putting money away for repairs and, what's the word? Unexpected things that could happen or need with the house, we should be able to make easily over $1,000 passive income per month from just renting this house out. So pretty excited about that. And
the biggest thing with that, because we also kept our old house and we're renting it to my sister-in-law. We're giving her like a deal in rent, so we're not getting full market value, but like the property taxes are what kills us. It's like once a home isn't your primary residence anymore, property taxes usually like quadruple. So that takes like the first 3 to 5 months of rent will just be property taxes, and then after that start. But we also have enough cash right now to pay off that house. But I'm like, should I pay it off or should we just keep, because the mortgage is like $640 a month. Like it's nothing. It's on automatic payment.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Joey, what about you? Are you going to buy a new house? You sold your house last year.
Yeah.
Great time to sell.
It was a good time to sell. I'm really just saving my money right now. Just save my money, living with my parents.
He's going to move into his Tesla once he pays it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to set up a bed in there.
Don't they make like air mattresses that are like specifically for Teslas?
Yeah, they do. I've thought about living in my Tesla, but I just can't do that. I got too many vintage clothes for that. I got too many goofy shirts. There's no way. But I would love to buy a house. I'm just not ready for it yet. But I have the money to do it. I'm just not there. I want to just save because I want to save as much as I can, and I thank my parents for letting me be here. But just want to keep saving my money, and eventually I want to buy a house, a nice one, and then I want to rent it. I want to do like what Zach does too, like rent out houses, and like he's doing good, man.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. And I'm excited. One day I'll get there. I'm just trucking along.
I think
You
the
guys-
scariest thing for me is like renting and then like having so like the laws for like landlords and tenants, like the laws favor the tenants so hard. Like that, like if you rent to somebody and they trash your house, like you could sue them, but chances are if they're the type of tenants that trash your house, they don't have anything anyway. You know, you're not going to get anything. And so like there's so many people that rent houses, like really like get like lines of credit, and then they use that to fix up a house to rent it out. First tenants they put in there, 3 months later they've trashed it. Then they have to go through the process of evicting them. And sometimes you like if a tenant pays, you can't evict them. So like some people will just trash your house, and as long as they pay the rent, there's really not anything you can do about it. So that's kind of scary to me. So I would definitely make sure like do everything you can to like double, triple, quadruple check your tenants just to make sure it's good quality people you're putting in there. But that's the scariest part.
Luckily for me, I'm in a position where at the church that I go to, I have multiple friends and families at the church that are looking for affordable places to live. And even though my house isn't the biggest, it's a 3-1. My backyard and the neighborhood that I live in is just really nice. It's quiet. It's away from a lot of people, and the backyard is big. You know, I've got the trampoline and the jungle gym back there.
Got the shed.
Got the shed. And so, you know, it's a great starter home for a smaller family. And I already have had 2 different families from church, because I had mentioned it in a meeting that we were having at this group, at like a church group, like a small group basically. And I was asking a question about like renting property and stuff. And two people came up to me after the small group and was like, "Hey, if you ever want to rent out your house, please let me know. We're very interested. We're in an apartment right now and we got to get out." Yeah. And like, I mean, Dalton, for example, I don't want to give away numbers, but he has a 2-bedroom apartment, and I can't even believe the rent that he's paying. And that's considered average right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're talking about over $2,000 a month, you know, for a 2-bedroom apartment. That's insane. So, you know,
I was thinking about rent though. Like Graham Stephan gets into buying houses to rent, not to flip. Because if you buy a house and flip it, you make your money and you're done. But if you buy a house and you know, you have your mortgage, and then as long as you're the first year, really your rent should go up every year, even if it's just by a couple bucks. Just the last thing you want is to have tenants for 5 years and they've been paying the same for 5 years, and all of a sudden you have to go up 30% because of, you know, the market or whatever, and then they freak out. So small incremental changes, but you can have the mortgage is locked in for 30 years. You know, that's not going to change, but the rent can keep going up every year. But also the property taxes would go up too. So
let's talk about reselling a little bit. We talked about a little bit everything else.
Why would we talk about reselling? What does that have to do with this?
My 90-day total has been the highest it's ever been. I've been working really hard towards it. Like I haven't been making videos, so I've been selling a lot. And it's really nice to have, like, I know Josh, you do it differently than I guess me and Drew. We put like each of our numbers like inside of a spreadsheet, and it's cool like to see your numbers and how much you really made like throughout the whole process, and how much your cost of goods are and stuff like that. I just hope people are doing that in general, because it's like a new thing, like for like $600 or something like that, and like you gotta show like what you're making, and you know, and stuff like that to
gotta track it.
Yeah, you gotta track it. And it's really nice, like now that I'm full time, like to actually see the numbers, because I didn't do it the last year, or when I was just reselling when I was a mailman. I just said I made money, you know, like, and that was it. And now like it's really nice to see like how much I'm really spending, what I'm putting into the business, and how much I'm putting back into the business. And it's just super like cool to see like the actual numbers come flowing through. And it's like, wow, like I could afford like maybe buying a house maybe or something like that. But you know, everything's not guaranteed in reselling. You know, it could be a different number this month, or it could be higher next month. You know, you never know. But it's just being consistent and still listing and stuff like that. So it's really cool, like to see all the numbers and stuff.
I think for me, like I've never really lost the motivation, even with Whatnot. I never really lost motivation for eBay, because I just look at eBay as passive income for me, essentially, because like I was cross-listing on Mercari, and I've pretty much stopped cross-listing to Mercari as of right now because it was my weakest platform. And I just decided the amount of listings I was putting up versus the amount of sales I was making wasn't really worth it to me. So I just kind of like am justifying in my own head that like I replaced Mercari with Whatnot and now it's paying dividends. But, as far as how much money I'm making on there compared to Mercari. But
Yeah.
I love Whatnot. I really enjoy it, and I try to keep it to like once a week, twice a week at most. And, but I haven't let that prohibit me from my main focus, which is still eBay and Poshmark. And my numbers haven't like dramatically gone up. I think sales are slightly down right now. Overall, like across all platforms, I think that a lot of people are seeing slower sales, but then you also have people like Little Elm Goods in Texas, or Marcus Dixon's Pixins, who's like posting that he had 68 sales going out this weekend. And I'm like, dang, let's go, my boy. But those people they're doing the tech and sports business model, the daily refinement business model, and they are consistently listing 30 to 50 items a day every single day. And I'm listing every day, but some days it may be 5, some days it's 20, some days it's 15, but I try to make sure that I put up, a minimum of 5 to 10 listings every single day, but when Josh was in town, Josh and Haley were in town, I didn't prepare any drafts. And so I really didn't do any listings on the day before you guys, or the day you got here, we didn't meet up. And so I had listed that day. But then the next day when we met up and disc dived and played disc golf and went thrifting, I was so tired after that day, I didn't do any listings. And so but it's so hard for me to believe that one day of not listing completely just jacks up my whole eBay store. So I don't think that that's really necessarily the case. But I have heard a lot of people saying sales are slow. So it's kind of hard to figure out because I'm like, well, my sales aren't bad. I'm just like, I was talking to Dalton about this yesterday. My average sale price is up, but my average amount of sales is down. Like my average sale price was sitting around like somewhere between like $58 and $61. And it's like, it's higher than that now. It's gone up to like 65, 66. And that's hard to do when your average is that high, to keep it at that price.
With the volume thing too, like somebody's video I saw the other day, he was talking about, it was called like how I make $60,000 a month on eBay. And it wasn't that. He just showed his 90-day total and it was like $180,000, which is still impressive. But on his eBay home screen, he also had like 25 return requests. I'm like, that would stress me out. And I commented that. I was like, that's a lot of return requests. And he's like, yeah, it just comes with volume. So like, those are extra headaches that come along with that model. Like if you want to make hundreds of $1,000s a year on eBay, you have to do the volume model. You either have to list a ton of items, like 30 to 50 items a day, and make $8 profit per item and deal with a ton of return requests, or you have to find some way to buy super high value items like, I don't know, machinery or something, and then flip that. Most people don't have that ability. So the only way I know for an average everyday person to hit those kind of numbers is with the volume. You've got to have 5 to 10,000 active listings, listing 30 to 50 things a day. And if you don't have employees helping you do that, I'd be willing to say that's almost impossible. Almost.
Yeah. It's really not like, when you actually sit down and you look at like what it takes to list 30 items a day. I mean, it depends on what you list. Like, let's just compare 2 categories real quick. Shoes, for example. I love selling shoes. You usually need to take anywhere between 6 to 9 pictures per pair, left side, right side, top, bottom, tag, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you're selling a Pokemon card, or a Yu-Gi-Oh card or a book, even really like front and back, and that's it. You can list 7 times as many Pokemon cards as you were shoes. And Pokemon cards don't need to be cleaned or magic erasered or anything like that. And so, I think that's why it's so important to figure out what you like selling and what you don't, because if you don't like cleaning shoes, stop buying them, and that's the Renzi model is, stop being romantic to what doesn't work and pour gas on what does work. It's just like, that's what works for them, and I think that that's really important for resellers, which I'm sure we've talked about before, but even with shoes, it's not that hard to really do 30 listings, you could do it in less than 3 or 4 hours if you really just like turn do not disturb mode on, had your inventory sitting next to you, and you just sat down at your desk and you took pictures and you listed it. Whether you batch it and then sit on the couch and list, or you take a picture and you list, you take a picture and you list, you can easily list 20 to 30 items in 3 to 4 hours. I mean,
Yeah.
if I can list 20 items during Joey's live when I'm responding to comments and talking to Joey, and I'm taking the photos of the items as I'm listing them most of the time, and I can still get 10 to 20 items listed in a 2-hour live stream. I mean, it's not something that can't be done. It's just that like that mental hump that people have to get over. You know, so yeah.
Joey?
It like going off of that, like the listing like quantity, like there's some days where I list like 50 items like a day because I'm home. I already got all the inventory I need, you know, from either Goodwill or the Salvation Army or the bins or something like that. And I just take the whole day and I just take pictures and I eat lunch and then I just, you know, I list all my stuff. And it really just has to do with just what's the right word? Like what's the word that you use all the time, Drew? Like dedication. It's not dedication. It's
Passion.
Consistency.
no, consistency and just staying like grounded to what you know. I've been listing a lot on all platforms. I've been using Flip. Shout out Flip. Not sponsored by me. I wish I was, but Flip, I really like Flip. I usually list everything on eBay and then I'll get on Flip and I'll go on to Mercari, Poshmark, and Facebook. I'm going over there. A lot more sales obviously do come from Poshmark, but I've had some good sales on Facebook. I sell a lot of golf bags.
I do too. Like golf bags, like anytime I don't remember the last golf bag we sold on eBay. Like Facebook Marketplace, they go within 24 hours.
If you look at the like views on golf bags on Facebook, like I already have like 700 views on a Callaway, you know, Solaire women's like golf, and it's women's golf bag. Like it's really cool that I pick up a lot of golf bags throughout because I live in Florida, so there's a lot of golfing here. So golf bags are like my easy sales. Like I buy them for like $3 to $10 and I sell them for like $100 to $150 and they're easy. And I have a box that I buy on Amazon and put them right in the box, tape it up, and I'm done. Like it's so easy, you know. Those are one of my I call that my bread and butter. Like I love selling golf bags because if you have the right box to just put it right in, it's like, oh yeah, baby, nice. And you tape it up and you just put a label on it. It goes to UPS or FedEx, you know. And so those have been doing really well for me. I really like those.
I saw somebody on Instagram today posted a golf club that they sold, and they got like $30 for it plus shipping on Poshmark. And it was surprising because it was like a King Cobra snake iron, like a random iron, which King Cobra snake is probably like a mid to late 90s club. So it's not really, I would never, I know a lot about golf clubs and I never would have thought that club would have sold for $30 ever in a million billion years. But they said it sold within like 24 hours or something on Poshmark. And I think that might be the way to go. Like I'm actually going to experience, I've got probably 40 golf clubs over there in the bin that have all been listed on eBay for over a year. And I keep refreshing the listings sometimes, but I think the shipping is just really hurting our sales on golf clubs now. We switched all of them to UPS ground, but still like it'll say like the buyer will pay anywhere from $12 to $150, you know, depending on where they are.
Right.
It was OG and Z.
Yeah. OG and Z. Yeah. Was it $30?
It was $25.
$25. Oh. That's like an $8 golf club. Really? Like I can list that golf club for $8 on eBay and it still wouldn't sell. Wow. Like I've got clubs that I know are $40 clubs listed for $15 and they're just not selling. It's got to be the shipping.
Well, it's probably the shipping, but I'm telling you, man, Poshmark is an amazing platform. I don't care what anybody says about it. I love Poshmark. Ever since I first started going to the bins, and another kid there, shout out Kyle if you're listening to this, he introduced me to Poshmark, and I've been hooked ever since. The platform, Poshmark is the closest thing to Whatnot for any reselling platform. It's easy, it's simple. You know your fees, you know what boxes you can use, you know the weight that it can handle.
That's why I was gonna show you, like I use a 1092 or a 1095. So like you put a t-shirt in here or You put a pair of pants in here, it fits right in here. You don't even have to use tape. It has its own like adhesive like thing. Put it right in a box. You put the label on. You print it instantly. It's so easy with eBay.
And you can use the priority Tyvek envelopes that I've never used those on eBay.
These right here, I use them all the time, man.
But Poshmark, it's great. It's free poly mailers.
Yes,
Yep.
and it's
I sold a boombox. I sold a boombox radio for $89 on Poshmark, and it fit. It was like a smaller one. It was a vintage one from the 90s. I actually did a video when I went to a Tampa Bay Bucks game with a couple friends, and I took them thrifting. They not thrifters, and it was like, I have 3 friends who don't know about reselling, and I have $100, and whoever can find me the most profit in 5 minutes wins $100. And it was actually one of my better performing videos at the time. And
did it make $100 in AdSense?
Well, no, but all three of them walked right past this boombox, and
one of them looked at it. I watched that video. He looked at it and then put it back.
He looked at it and put it back and was like, "Yeah, this isn't worth anything." And then I showed them as I'm walking around, like I showed them the comp on it, and the highest comp on eBay I think was like $69.99 plus shipping, and there was like 4 listed, 2 sold. So it wasn't a bad sell-through rate, but I was like, I can still pick this up for $5.99 and flip it. Yeah. But I always list my stuff a little bit higher on Poshmark to help cover the difference of fees, when realistically, after promoted listings and sending out coupons and offers and all that, you're really selling the same, fees on eBay as you are Poshmark. But I digress on that. But anyway, I sold for $89 on Poshmark, full price sale, and I was like, this is a boombox. And then I took I bubble wrapped it, put 2 shoebox shoes together, free shoebox shoes, and it shipped, no problem. The buyer left me 5 stars. I don't have to worry about returns. I don't have to worry about damages. If it comes, if it arrives damaged, Poshmark would pay for it.
I don't know if Poshmark has the new limitations with USPS with the length, because like if you sell golf clubs on Poshmark, they're all going to be over the 25 inches or whatever it is. But
it's only by weight. It's only by weight on Poshmark.
Who's paying for that though?
Poshmark.
Poshmark's paying $15 out of pocket for every golf club anybody sells.
Well, no, I don't think they're paying $15. I just think that they have a flat rate agreement price with the post office for anything up to £5 for their platform, because they're doing so much volume with priority mail that they have some type of billion-dollar agreement, that no matter what it is, if it's under £5, it ships for the same rate and it will never change. It doesn't matter.
Wouldn't it be wild if eBay could do that? Do you think eBay, being the largest platform for secondhand items in the world, could have easier shipping options for their sellers? But you got brand new platforms like Whatnot. Whatnot just comes onto the scene. It's like, yeah, we'll ship just $1 extra, like super easy. You're telling me eBay's been around since 90 whatever, and they can't have something like that?
It's insane. I wish they would like. It's almost like the political, like, let's say Donald Trump.
I was just about to say that. It's just like politics, like the governors and the senators and the legislation who literally do nothing for this country but fill their own pockets with money. Like they're not making any effort to change this world for better, and eBay's the same way. It's like eBay just wants to punish their sellers and buyers when these other platforms are succeeding. You'd think that they would be like, oh wow, Whatnot is doing this and Poshmark is doing this, let's do it even better. They're charging I think it was $7.53, and then Poshmark upped it to like $8.13 or something because of the shipping increases. Well, eBay should be able to go in there and be like, we can ship anything under £5 for $8, no matter what it is. 13 cents cheaper than Poshmark. They should be able to do it and make that deal. Call up the postal general master, whatever his name is. What's that called, Joey? The
Postmaster General.
Send it enough cereal box tops and say, hey, let's get this deal. Let's get this deal done. It doesn't seem like it's that complicated.
I don't know why things are complicated. Like, I think it's just the difference between like the age of us and then older people. I feel like it will change once like we pass, as in time. Like 100 years.
In the old days,
I don't think
everything was so much easier.
I don't think it'll ever change.
In the 1800s, if you wanted to like start a business, you could just go do it. You just buy a building,
Yeah.
and go do it. You didn't have to get a business license and all this stuff. Back in the day, if you wanted to be a doctor, you could just start being a doctor. And if you were bad at it, you wouldn't have any customers. But if you were good at it, you would have customers. You'd have to go to med school and all this stuff, or a lawyer.
Yeah.
I do think doctors and lawyers should go to school, but like teachers, we have a huge teacher and nurse shortage in this country. Okay. So like, I don't think teachers should have to have a 4-year degree to be a teacher.
No.
Like, I'm not saying it's not hard to be a teacher. I'm saying it doesn't require 4 years of college to learn how to be a teacher. Most of what you learn being a teacher is learned after you get into the classroom anyway, from what I understand from my several friends who have become teachers. It's like,
That's
you go to school and get $60,000 to $80,000 in debt to do this job that most people actually hate so much that they quit after their first year. But good news is we'll pay you $35,000 a year. So
It's
actually
sickening,
not as
man.
bad as it sounds.
It is sickening.
It's
I'm
no
all
job that
for-
offers $35,000 to $40,000 a year should require a college degree.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm all for like pro sports players getting paid money, and this is a conversation for another whole podcast here.
I could talk about that for hours.
You're talking about like paying one baseball player $110 million over 7 years, but you can't give teachers 40 or 45,000. Like how does that, like, in today's society, like, I don't even understand how that logically makes sense. Like, us, we work for ourselves, so we determine like our own financial status.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're being paid by somebody else and it's a guaranteed salary, you're talking about these people work summer school. Some of them are going to Target and buying their own crayons and dry erase markers and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just so blown away how,
it's all about generating income. Like the $110 million that some baseball players is paying, that isn't coming out of like somebody's budget. That's from like the increased ticket sales and, the economic impact that player will have. Whereas a teacher, even if they're a really good teacher, they're still not generating income. They're just providing a service and like teaching kids that nobody pays for. So that has to come out of a budget. So we have to find ways to increase the education budget by generating income somewhere. So maybe teachers should start a baseball league, all teachers, and sell tickets, and tickets go straight to the teachers or something. Like I get it that it's like I saw an article the other day that the U.S. women's soccer team is now going to make the same amount as the U.S. men's soccer team. And I'm for that. Like, it's great. But where is that money going to come from? Are more people going to buy tickets to U.S. women's soccer games, or are the men's soccer teams going to start charging more for their tickets? Because, it's all about revenue. Like NBA players make more than WNBA players, not because they're men, but because the NBA sells way more tickets than the WNBA.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and I agree. I agree
teacher
with that.
baseball league, teacher basketball league.
It's just like, I wish there was more people in the world like Mr. Beast. Like I wish, somebody, I don't know, let's just say Gary Vee or Logan Paul or someone with tons of money that's just like doing stuff that's always making more money. Mm-hmm. Kevin O'Leary, whatever, one of these guys. I just wish one time you'd see one of these people just like go to a school and give every teacher in the school like $10,000. Now, should those people have to do that are billionaires that have earned their money? Kevin O'Leary, Mark Cuban, Gary Vee? No. But would it be cool to just like, I watched the documentary that this other channel put out about Mr. Beast, like the origin and rise of Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's really well produced. And it basically just tells his story from when he was a kid. It interviews him, his mom, Chris, his manager, like all the people involved with him. And the thing that he loves most is just making other people happy. And it just is just so cool that he's in that place that he can do that. And I just wish there were more people like him that just cared less about money and cared more about people. And, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, I know that teachers, deserve more than what they're getting paid, and nurses and firefighters and police officers, but Josh is right. Like, how do you drive that revenue to accommodate, the difference? Should all teachers start like a teacher YouTube channel or something where they're like, I don't know,
do something,
but it's just crazy.
It's so
crazy.
It's like education is like a I don't know if it's legally a right, but it's free in the United States. If you're a United States citizen, you have your free K through 12 education. And like, as our population continues to grow and more kids come into the classroom and more teachers leave the classroom, there's some teachers that have like 40 to 45 kids in a classroom. That's crazy. Like, you're asking people to teach all these different kids multiple times per day, and you're not paying them enough to do that. But again, like, the money has to come from somewhere. We can't just create it, because then we've seen what happens when the government tries to create money, inflation. So I don't have a good answer for you. But like, even the answer is rarely just like,
it's not just giving people a bunch of money. Like,
yeah, like that's nice, but it's just like an expensive Band-Aid. Like, you can give a teacher $10,000, but next year they're still going to be in the same situations they're in now, you know?
Right.
So like, like Elon Musk, somebody told him, why didn't you bought Twitter? Why didn't you solve world hunger? He's like, if somebody can give me a plan on how to solve world hunger with money, I will pay for it. It has to be a written plan, open source accounting. Like, because it's not about money. Like, we send billions of dollars a year to countries all over the world, and corruption and theft and mismanagement just piddles it all away. So it's not about, it's just a bottomless pit. We need to figure out how to close the pit and have the pit generate some sort of income.
That's why when Goodwill and Salvation Army ask me if I want to round up to the nearest dollar, I say no, because I don't know where that money's being gone. Like, can you give me a pamphlet that says 10% of all donations go to, creating jobs, 13% goes towards, insurances, 50% goes towards it? No, they can't do that. So every time I'm rounding up and people say like, oh, it's the right thing to do. Yeah, bull crap. Like, I don't know where that money's going. I'd rather take that 83 cents and go give it to, somebody that's actually going to be able to go buy a drink at racetrack or something. You know what I mean? That's thirsty.
Yeah. Joey, do you round up at thrift stores?
What?
I was asking Joey if he rounds up at thrift stores.
They already take enough of my money.
Well, you don't live in Central Florida. You don't live in Central Florida. They don't take enough of your money yet.
Listen, they're stealing from all of us.
With YouTube, there's no winning. Like, if I round up, people are like, why would you round up? Like, thrift stores already get enough for your money. And if I don't round up, they're like, why would you not round up? You make so much off of these thrift stores. It's so funny. Literally, no matter what, like my last video, we bought those Pokemon plush, paid $80 for these Pokemon plush. It was like $4 a piece. And somebody was like, you really stiffed that lady on those Pokemon plush. I have unsubscribed. I'm like, I paid $80 for these Pokemon plush. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, that, I paid more than everybody else thought I paid too much.
Yeah, you also really stiffed that guy on that KitchenAid mixer, giving him what he asked for.
It's always funny when I see like non-resellers find our videos for the first time, and they're like, this guy is so scammy. Like, why would you just pay $5 for those shoes when you know that they're worth way more? I'm like, because that's what she was asking. I'm not going to just voluntarily, oh, these are actually worth 100. Would you take 75?
my first disc golf video, the disc diving video, the first one that I made's got like over 50,000 views. And it's really the first time on my channel that I've seen like so much like far left and far right opinions of what I'm doing. Like, I can, first of all, I kind of clickbaited the title by saying diving for disc golf discs to sell on eBay. But the reason that I did that was because I was just trying to get resellers to still click on my video, because my channel is a reselling based video. Yeah. If I would have said disc diving for discs, I would have had no resellers watch my video other than maybe my friends, so I was trying to only do that to get the resellers in, when really like all these disc golfers are seeing my video and they're like, came straight to the comment section. You're lucky that you're giving these people their discs back, because I was going to roast you.
That's nothing. On our disc golf video we made, a guy, I wish I could find the comment, but he was like, is no one in the disc golf community calling them out on this? Like, just because a disc doesn't have a name and number on it doesn't mean you shouldn't try to reunite it with the owner. You guys should have posted pictures of all these discs to local social media groups with disc golf diving and for disc golf discs and try to reunite the owners. I'm like, we're diving with alligators to get $10, $15 discs out of the bottom of a lake. If you don't have your name and number written on the disc, you're not getting it back.
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy.
And on top of that, it's like, first of all, if you want to play Mr. Goody Goody and try to do that, you're going to get screwed by Mr. Batty Batty, who comes in
Yeah.
and is like, oh yeah, that Tesla
that's
Proton
mine.
disc is mine. It
That's
didn't have
mine.
my name on it, but it's mine. You can send it to me. And
Yeah.
it's not his disc.
Not his
Because
disc
there's
at all.
dishonest people in this world.
Yeah.
Like, just
The
as
bad
much as
people
there is honest
ruin it
people,
for everybody else.
there's dishonest people. One bad egg ruined the whole, or one bad apple ruined the whole bunch, or whatever the saying is. And it's just crazy. Like, the comments on that disc golf video have just absolutely blown me away, because most of those comments that were negative, all I commented back was, watch the whole video before you respond. And that's all I said. And someone commented back and said, no.
No.
And I'm like, dude, you didn't even watch the video. Like, in the first video and in the second video, I literally showed clips of me calling people, shipping them out, and hand delivering them, meeting somebody in a parking lot, out of my way, hand delivering somebody a disc for no extra money.
Mhm.
Like, one guy came to my house and picked up a disc the other day, and he gave me nothing for it. And he was like, dude, you're the best. Thank you so much, man. I love this disc. And he's like, well, see ya. And he just left. Didn't even give me $1, you know? And that's okay, because I wasn't expecting any money, but like,
I
just
would have expected at least $1.
I have
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
they give me like $20
like
to ship them their disc back.
Drew took his time out to go into the lake, find it, and be courteous to reach out to these people. And, you know, that's a lot of work that you do. Like, Josh knows, I would never dive in that lake, but you guys know that, like, you in that water, it was hard work. And no one else would do that, you know? So I would have been like, yo, here's $20. Go buy yourself a disc. Like, you know, like something. Like, I'm a giving person, but that's things.
It's been pretty interesting. I'd say like 33% split of the people who wanted their discs back and were happy to pay for the shipping. 33% of people who said, no, just keep it. Thank you for making an effort. Thank you for texting me. Or someone said, I've already replaced that disc in my bag. Just keep it or donate it to a local Boys and Girls Club. And then the other 33 is people who didn't even respond. And most of the time, the people who responded were not the ones with the best discs. Like, some of the nicest discs are the ones that people aren't responding. You could call them, leave them a voicemail. You could text them. You could email them. You could go on the PDGA website and pull up their number and send them a message. You could put it in Facebook. You could put up an airplane banner over the beach, and they still wouldn't respond to it, you know? And so it's like, how far do I go? What is my time worth? You know, my time's already so valuable that I got 47 discs here that I texted everybody's number. That took me an hour to do, just to sit here and text everybody. And then I have to respond to everybody that responds to me. Then I have to tell them how much shipping is. Then I have to collect the shipping. Then I have to get their address. Then I have to use my poly mailers that I pay for to ship it to them. And then I have to spend time, you know, shipping it using my labels from my Rolo, you know, and I'm like, you can go as deep as you want with this. It's just crazy, man. People are crazy. But, you know, at the end of the day, it was fun to really do. And I'm still going to keep doing the videos because I enjoy doing them. But the opinions are so far apart from each other about some disc golfers. Like, just give everybody their discs back, you meanie, you know, or just put them in the lost and found bin. Like, bro, not every disc golf course has a lost and found bin.
Yeah.
You know, you can't
and all the
just
discs wouldn't fit in there. My course, it's closest to my house, has one, but it's like a bucket like this big. And we found 76 discs. So those wouldn't even fit in there.
And furthermore, Josh knows, because we didn't get it on camera, but when we were disc diving, when he was down here, there was like 4 little middle school kids that walked by, and they were like being so mean and disrespectful. They're like, I hope y'all drown in that water.
They did.
And they were being really mean.
No, it started off nice. They were like, what are you doing? And we're like, oh, we're diving for discs. And then 5 minutes later, I don't know what happened, but they're just like, I hope you drown in there. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well,
they
said, because I was on land, they were just like, y'all have like a YouTube channel or something? I'm like, yeah, they do, and they're filming a video, and they're like, oh, I want that cheddar. I was like, cheddar? Like, oh, you want that money? And they were like, yo, give me $20. I was like, no, why would I give you
asking
$20?
to like pay us to subscribe or something? I'm like,
no,
thanks.
that too, yeah.
No thanks.
But my point was with those kids, they were at that park, like walking through for school or something like that. If I were to put all those discs in the lost and found, those kids would have walked up to the lost and found box, opened it up, and pulled them out.
Yeah.
And then
Probably.
all of the people that would have showed up for their disc for Lost and Found would have never got it. Because
'cause
those
That part
four,
was kind of in a rough area.
those four,
a little bit.
you know, God bless those kids, but you know, those 4 kids would have taken all of those discs.
Yo, let me
Luckily,
get
we
that
didn't
channel,
drown.
boy.
Luckily, we didn't drown.
Luckily, we didn't drown. Yeah. I was
But-
trying to. I really like when people read negative comments sometimes, just as like fun. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I did that ad last week for Masterworks, which is like allows you to like invest in like paintings and artwork like fractionally, like fractional shares, just like stocks in a company. Like you don't own the whole company, you can buy a part of the company. And somebody commented on the video and they're like, I would never buy something like that I don't actually own. I only invest in stocks. I'm like, that's exactly the same thing, but like you don't own that company, you own a share of it. It's the same principle. Like I get it, it might not be for everybody. But I was just like, that's exactly the same thing we're talking about here. You're just owning a piece of something.
I've talked about doing that so many times, and then I just don't make the time to do it. But I did it on Instagram Live one time with Dalton, and I think with Joey, where I was
negative comments.
Yeah, I was reading like mean comments from or it was on a Monday Night Live, but I think Dalton was in the live or something too, or whatever. But I was reading bad Goodwill reviews. Like I just Googled like random cities and typed in Goodwill, Oklahoma or something. And then I'd read like the 1-star reviews and I'd read them out in the voice of like how I imagine the person wrote it. And I had so much fun doing that. People told me I need to turn it into a series. So maybe I'll put one on my channel and see how it does. But it's like the Jimmy Kimmel mean tweets. Like I did that when you were here, Josh, in the car. I was like trying to pull up mean comments on your YouTube channel and read them in the car on the way to disc golf. And it's just like
most of them are very positive.
Yeah. 97 to 98% of comments are like positive, encouraging. There's a couple videos I was like, dude, I can't even find a mean comment. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But when
in
you
our
find
last flea market video, I found this big commercial microwave. And in the video, I was like, I bet that's good. That's something Tim would get. Like, what's up, guys? Found this at flea market for $3, sold it for $3,500. But then I just didn't get it because it was pretty big. Like it was a commercial microwave. So it probably weighed like 40, 50 pounds, like very big. But then later on, like 5 minutes later, I got a KitchenAid mixer, which was not quite as big, but still fairly big. Probably the same amount of work to ship that as it was the microwave. I paid $100 for that and might sell it for like $150. And like the top comment was like, you pass by a commercial microwave for $400. It was like 400 plus like 300 in shipping. I don't know how much the guy was asking for it, but he's like, so you pass by that, but immediately go get the KitchenAid mixer. I was like, yeah, you know how I am.
You should have just replied, shout out Tim.
Shout out Tim. I think with eBay, I'm trying to balance, eBay and whatnot and everything. I do want to use the list perfectly to cross post all of my golf clubs from eBay to Poshmark and just see what happens. I think they're all gonna sell. I was honestly gonna take them to Play It Again Sports, but I think I'll do the Poshmark thing. But with eBay, I mean, obviously our eBay sales are down. We haven't been listing as much. We're moving so much stuff and whatnot. But I think I'm just gonna I really like the idea of having like a college pickers type eBay store. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he like everything he lists on eBay is like $50 minimum, like whether it be clothing or shoes or electronics, like so just like have those really good items, really good sell-through rates. They're like $50 minimum and list those on eBay. And then everything under $50 that's still cool, just sell that on Whatnot.
Yeah.
Unless it's something like I bought out somebody's eBay store earlier this week and he's got some like Ford car parts or something. Obviously that wouldn't be good to sell on eBay. So those aren't $50, but that's definitely an eBay item. But I think that's how we're going to balance it. Just like keep looking for cool stuff that's lower value, moving on Whatnot, and all the more expensive stuff.
That's funny because that's like what I'm doing right now. That's exactly how I'm maybe $30 to up, but that's like my thing right now is what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. Because like if you're at the bins and you find something for 50 cents that sells on eBay for like $10, like I'm not going to not buy that.
Right.
But like if it's got a bad sell-through rate, or even a good sell-through rate, but it's only $10 on eBay, you can put on Whatnot. Whatnot's I think 1% cheaper fees than eBay.
Yeah.
Which that's a good move on their part. So you'd actually make more money even if you could sell it for, full value.
Yep.
So I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just really loving Whatnot right now, like and excited like to pay off my car, which is cool. But
Should do it. Something I'm doing. I wasn't going to advertise this, but I mean, I talked about it in today's Whatnot stream. But instead of doing like one live stream a week with like 50 items, we're going to try to do like at least 3 a week with like.
because I saw
20
you did
items each.
you did what, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You did 3
Yeah,
days in a row.
No, just we did Monday and then today.
Oh,
Today's
okay.
Wednesday, just Monday and
Okay,
today.
cool.
But like Monday, it was nighttime. We started at like 8, didn't finish until like 10:15. We had like technical difficulties. And it's, I don't know, when you try to live stream for 2 hours, like it's just, it gets really hard to like stay high energy, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have like, and if you have multiple auctions per week, there's more of a chance for somebody to find you. You know, if you do Monday night auctions and they miss that, they have to wait a whole nother week to see another auction.
Yeah.
Whereas like, what if you did like an auction every day, like 10 items every single day on Whatnot? That'll give you like, oh, if you miss this auction, just come back tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow at this time.
That's cool. I like that. I might do that.
I think the
Thanks,
only
Josh.
reason that
I'm
I
taking
like-
your idea.
I think the reason I like doing one per week is because if you promote it enough, I think that you can get enough viewers to make the sales that you want. And for me, I'd rather just do all my shipping in one day than I'd rather ship everything one day than ship a little bit every day.
Yeah.
But that's just
you-
my brain is instead of packing up 10 or 12 or 15 orders a day, I'd rather just pack up all 50 or 60 orders, you know, in one day and then just be done with it for the whole week.
But then the
Yeah.
buyer also gets, like, if they do buy something, it is $1, which is nice for the buyer.
Right. The extra
yeah.
shipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when Matt was live and Josh bought that shirt, he was like, he didn't know what to say when Josh bought that shirt for $250. He's like, "Congratulations, Harry Tornado, you unlocked $1 shipping."
I was like,
I
thanks.
was
I wasn't thinking about that at all.
I was cracking up, man. I
He had a really good reaction. Like, it was really fun.
it was so funny.
It's always fun,
man.
like buying stuff from people. Like anytime I go into an auction and somebody like recognizes my username, like I'm instantly like, all right, let's spend some money. You know,
All right.
it's fun.
You should also, just for the sake of it, like make a burner account, like, but not have anything to do with related with Harry Tornado. Just call it like, you know, Big Boy 334 or something. Big
Boy 334.
And just go in and do the exact same thing and see like what the reaction is like from some random buyer, you know, that buys something.
Well, there was some guy. So one of the first Whatnot auctions I watched was Retro Rick when he was selling his $10 game collection. That was wild. There was like 1,100 people in the chat. I mean, he was selling mystery boxes. Like he had like 15 mystery boxes. The ceiling was 500. So the most that a mystery box could be worth was $500. And the least they could be worth was like 200 or 150 or something. And everybody was bidding $500, like 500, 500, 500. And this one guy that had already bought like 10 things from his regular auction, like he probably already spent $2,500. He bought like 2 or 3 more mystery boxes at $500 a piece. And it got to the point where he's like, okay, you know, Drew Profit Monsters takes it again. I'm like, this guy's spending like $5,000 in an auction, and it's just his name popping up over and over and over again. So it's definitely,
Well, you got to think
interesting.
Like that guy's got to be a buyer. Like either he has a problem, like he wants to get a game that's not in his collection or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I don't think he's a reseller because
he's a clout chaser.
Maybe there's
clout chaser. Yeah.
There's all different things. Maybe he just wants attention. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely spent, because I think he did the same thing with Phoenix Resale too. Like he bought 4 or 5 things in a row, one of his auctions.
That's crazy.
Crazy world. A lot of smells. Well, boys, we've been live for an hour and 18 minutes, almost an hour and 19 minutes.
What did you just say?
Well, boys, not live.
You said
No.
crazy world, a lot of smells.
I said, well, boys, we've been live for an hour and 18 minutes.
No.
No. Before that,
you said crazy world.
A lot of smells.
What is that from?
It's from The Office.
Oh,
Michael like goes and throws up in the bathroom, and Kevin's like, Michael, did you throw up in here? He's like, nope. You know how I'd be, just pooping. And Kevin's like, it smells like throw up in here. And Michael's like, crazy world, a lot of smells.
Well, now we get it. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna get comments on the YouTube video like, wow, you didn't know that?
You didn't know The Office? Office quotes.
listen, it's okay. I'm gonna start doing SpongeBob quotes because that's all I know.
I know SpongeBob. I know early SpongeBob quotes. Chocolate. They're selling chocolate. What? Chocolate.
I always hated it.
This chocolate's not for eating. It's for you rub it on your skin and it makes you live forever. Live forever, you say?
I'll take 20.
Boy, you boys sure do have a lot of bags there. Yes, sir. We bought them from somebody a minute ago. Well, it looks like you're interested in one of my chocolate bar bag carrying bags.
This is great.
Yeah, I like the scene where he's like, "Hello, sir. We're selling chocolate bars to pay for our medical bills." He's like, "Oh, some people have all the luck. I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms. And at night I lay in agony every night until my heart attacks put me to sleep."
Oh gosh.
Oh,
We need an operation.
baby.
I love SpongeBob.
And on that note, thank you everybody for listening. If you liked this podcast, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know in the comment section to put out another one so that we're reminded to keep doing them. Love you so much.
Tap, tap, tap.